All right, what is up, guys? Francisco here from Capsule Web Solutions, and we are back at it again with the Freecodecamp algorithm challenges. And in this video, I'm going to help you solve the mutations algorithm in this challenge. So let's jump into it. Let's read this little description that we have here so we know what to do. So they want us to return true if the string in the first element of the array contains all of the letters of the string in the second element of the array. All right. For example, hello and hello should return true because all of the letters in the second string are present in the first, ignoring case. The argument hello and hey should return false because the string hello does not contain a y. Lastly, alien and line should return true because all of the letters in line are present in alien. And we're going to be using index of in this challenge. Cool. So pretty much all they want us to do is to look at this array that we have as an argument, which is this. In this example, we're going to use this array. And we're checking to see if the first word contains all the letters in the second word. Okay, so again, we're checking to see if the first word in the array contains all the letters in the second word, or string rather, in the array. Cool. So let me explain what index of does so we can actually move on with the challenge because that's going to be very useful in this case. So let's say that we want to check to see if a certain letter is contained in a string. So we can actually do that by simply using a string and chaining on index of, and we're checking to see, if I can type, checking to see if index of contains G. Okay, contains G. So let's run this and see what happens. Okay, so what does index of return? Well, it returns 2. And what this is saying is, hey, it does contain a G, and it's in position, or it's in index 2 of the string. So remember 0, 1, 2. There we go. So let's say that we have doggy. Okay, we're going to run this. It's also going to return 2 as well. Now, index of returns the first instance, excuse me, of the string, or rather the letter of the string. So if we have 3 G's or 2 F's, it's going to return the position of the first instance of that letter. Now, let's say that we pass in a Y, or rather a Z. Let's pass in a Z. Now, what is this going to return? So let's find out. Let's run this. -1. Okay. So what does this mean? When we return, or when JavaScript returns -1, when we use index of, all that means is that that letter is not contained in the actual string. Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? So we're definitely going to be using that. So let's start with the solution. The first thing that we want to do is we want to have both of the actual strings in the array as separate variables. And we can actually do that by simply setting two variables. The first one is going to be array 0. So the 0th position in the array, which in this case is going to be hello. And we also want to use a 2 lowercase as well, because we don't want to have to deal with any case sensitivity later on. And then we're simply going to do the same for our second word, and we're going to name that word. Remember, we're naming the first word target and the second word word. Okay, we're just doing the same exact thing, except we're going to do it for the first position and 2 lowercase. All right. Now, we actually want to iterate through each individual letter. And the way that we're going to do that is by using a for loop. Okay? And if you're not familiar with for loops by now, definitely go back and review because by this point you should be familiar with for loops. I am going to be coming out with a JavaScript fundamentals video very soon. But till then, go back, go on Stack Overflow, review Freecodecamp, definitely look at more videos just so you understand how for loops work because that's very, very important in JavaScript. But here we're just simply setting up our counter like normal for loop stuff. However, we're going to check to see if I is less than our word.length. Okay, and if it is, then we're going to simply add 1 to the counter. Okay. At that same instance, through each revolution or each iteration, we're going to check to see if target dot index of contains each letter of word. So each iteration. So we're going to use I. And I is representing each iteration of our for loop. Okay? We're checking to see if that is actually less than 0. So if it is less than 0, then that's going to return a -1, which again is less than 0. So knowing how index of works, that means that the actual string does not contain that letter. So we're going to return false. Okay. And then if it does contain it through the reiteration, then we're going to return true. Cool. So let's run this. Awesome. So it worked. Let's just review it one more time so it really gets ingrained in your brain. Okay, so here we're just simply stating 2 different variables, and we're going to loop or iterate through the first word, okay? Or rather the second word, the second string. And we're looping through each individual letter of the second string. Now, if our target.index of is less than 0, then we're going to return false because that means that that letter is not contained. It's going to return -1. If it is, then it's going to return true. Okay? But that's it for this video, guys. I do want to shout out another YouTuber by the name of Stephen Mayu because I actually stumbled across this very, very cool solution thanks to him. So definitely check out his channel. He does the same thing with Freecodecamps. He actually does a bunch of other videos as well. But if this was helpful, leave a comment, leave a like, and do not forget to subscribe. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.